Hello, and welcome back to the Sales and Business Growth for Busy Women podcast. I am your resident sales and business nerd, Lindsay Fletcher, and this podcast is the place for small business owners to learn how to make more sales, have more time, and grow your business. Before we get started today, I wanted to make sure that you knew about the free tool that I have launched on my website that you can download. It is the tool that we have used to figure out which sales and marketing activities actually create revenue in both of our businesses. It's called the Sales Growth Tracker, and it's now available for download on my website. So go to lindsayfletcher.co/free-resources and click on Sales Growth Tracker. You'll drop your email and I will send it over to you immediately, along with steps on how to use it, as well as a podcast episode that walks you through it if you'd like to listen that way. Again, go to my website, lindsayfletcher.co. You can click on the free resources tab at the top, and then you'll see Sales Growth Tracker at the top of the page. Download it and use it and be on your way to sales success. All right, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. Today, we are going to talk about time management strategies as a business owner and as an entrepreneur and as a woman, because I think that we have been lied to. I think that we have somewhere along the way been told that we can do all the things and be all the things, and it's just simply not true, y'all. Like, we cannot be everywhere. We cannot be everything to everyone all the time. That's ridiculous. We are not superheroes. We are human. And this has been really heavy on my heart lately because I feel like a lot of women in my circle and women that I'm seeing online are so burned out because they've tried to do it all. They've tried to be it all, and they've tried to be everything to everyone all the time. So let's stop the cycle. Let's stop believing in the lies. I just want us to get our sanity back. So have you ever felt like your list of to-dos is so long that you don't even know where to start? I am with you, sister. I am with you. I have been there, and I'm sure that I will be there again. So today, I'm going to share 5 ways of managing your time, and I hope that at least one of these helps you out. Now, if you are struggling to know which tasks to do, I want you to go back and listen to episode 20, where I talk about Eisenhower's matrix, delegation, and how to use that particular tool. But today, I'm going to talk about time management strategies, and I'm going to walk you through 5 different ways to manage your time. I'd love to hear from you if you use one of these, or if one of these speaks to you and you start using it after this episode. So let's dive in. Number 1, you've all heard it, time blocking. You probably already know what that means, and you know what I'm talking about here. This is where you block chunks of time in your day and you dedicate them to a certain task or an area of your business. For example, social media, or filling in your sales growth tracker, hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod. Go download that. Or running payroll. I know a lot of people love time blocking, and there are lots of advantages to time blocking. It helps you focus on certain sets of activities. It helps you distribute your time, and you can improve productivity with time blocking. Now, time blocking takes effort, so you have to do some thinking to prioritize your tasks and plan ahead, because this type of time management system lacks spontaneity. And that's kind of where I personally have struggled with the time blocking way of managing time. But I have a friend, Melissa Rodabaugh. If you are listening, girl, she is the time blocking queen, and she is so diligent and so on it, and this works beautifully for her. So if time blocking is your thing, more power to you. If you've never tried it, I encourage you to do so if you're struggling to figure out what works for you. The second strategy is what they call eat the frog. This is basically where you make a list of your tasks for the day and you do the hardest one or the biggest one first. When I was in corporate America, I had a manager that was so good at eating the frog, like so good. She always did the hardest things first. And then as her day went along, it got easier and easier and easier. So sometimes the hard, in quotation marks, the hard tasks of the day were having difficult conversations. Sometimes it was tackling a contract, or sometimes it was completing a sales call. You determine what is hard or difficult for this particular time management solution, but this method can really help you overcome procrastination, and it prioritizes high impact tasks. So try out Eat the Frog. That might be something that works well for you. Time management strategy number 3 is task stacking. Task stacking is also known as batching. It is sort of similar to time blocking, but with this strategy, you group together similar tasks and then you do them all at once to make it kind of a more efficient, and it can make it faster for you to complete the tasks. For example, I use task stacking sometimes in my sales consulting business. When I am creating content for this podcast, I will typically write my episodes or make an outline for my episodes on one day, and then the next day I will record them. Now, you could task stack all of for example, the podcast things that you do. You could write them, record them, and edit them and upload them, right? But it's just kind of grouping together some things that go together and kind of work together, and it creates flexibility and efficiency. Now, task stacking or batching is the exact opposite of multitasking, where you do several tasks at once. This is where you kind of hone in on one thing and you do all of those things for the day or the week or the month in one batch. This is a strategy that I use. It's a strategy that I really like because it kind of gets me through the big things that I need to do. I can batch them all together and stack them so that I can make my days a little bit more efficient. Number 4 is, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, Pomodoro's technique. I call this one the timer and a break. This method of time management breaks up working into intervals that are separated by a short break. So it's designed to help you avoid burnout, minimize distractions, and improve focus on the tasks at hand. And lots of people use like a 50-10 split where they do 50 minutes of work and then they do a 10-minute break. You can also do a 25-minute stretch of work and then a 5-minute break. You can create or design that mix however you want, whatever mix of work and break that allows you to stay focused, you can choose that. But it's designed to help break up the monotony of some tasks, and it can really help you stay focused. I do use this with social media work. I've talked about this on the show before, but social media is a problem for me mental health wise, and I also will look up 3 hours later and not even know where my time went because I will get caught on some video and then watch another video, and then, it's just a black spiraling hole for me. So when I'm using social media, I will often set a timer, and when it is done, I am done. Okay, the 5th and final time management strategy I'm going to talk about on today's podcast episode is what I call successful week. This is actually the strategy that I use most, and my favorite manager of all time, shout out to Amanda Long. I am just calling out my friends right and left here. She told me early in my sales career that there would always be more work to do. There'd always be something else on the list. There would always be another customer I could call or another task I could do. And it was my job to figure out what was the most important things that needed to get done for the day or the week or the month to make it feel successful. And then I do those first. So in corporate America, my list there looked a little bit different than it does as a small business owner. I am in charge of sales and marketing for our local service-based business. So social media is a part of my list of to-dos, right? So I will make sure that I get those things done so that it's a successful day or a successful week for our family-owned business. Also, since being in corporate America and leaving corporate America, my role in our family has changed a bit because I can be more present and I'm not traveling for work and I'm not taking clients out to dinner. So I use this even more now than I did before, and I used it a lot before. This time management strategy allows for flexibility in your days and your weeks. You may need and want flexibility if you have a major role in getting your kids places, or you're a caregiver to a family member or something like that. So this may be something that could work for you if you have other things on your plate and need your schedule to be flexible, but at the same time, you need it to be efficient. So in the successful week, I make a list of all of the things I need to get done for the day and the week. And then I do the things that will make me feel successful first. And then if there's any time left, I'll fill in with whatever else is left on my to-do list. Now, this is not an exhaustive 5 strategies for time management, and these are the only things you can use out there. But the great things about these time management strategies is that you can use a couple of different strategies to find out what works for you. My main strategy is successful day or successful week, but I also use some task stacking or batching, especially for like podcast recording and editing, like I said earlier. I also use a version of Pomodoro's technique with a timer and a break. Now, on the flip side of that, time blocking makes me feel like I'm choking for some reason. I don't have a clue as to why it makes me feel that way. I think it's because it's very rigid and from this time to this time, and I need more of a flexibility. But if you are someone who really thrives in that type of structure, time blocking may work for you really well. Like I said, my friend Melissa uses time blocking religiously, and she makes me so jealous with how effective she is using that time management strategies. So these strategies are for you to try out and figure out which one or ones work best for you. And then they can be used for work and regular life. When I'm on my A game with time management, like when I know we have a crazy week of work and kids' activities, I will make a list of all the tasks that have to get done and any projects that need started or completed or worked on. And I will plug some of those into my calendar, and I'll map out my task stacking, figure out what actually has to be done for it to be a successful week, and then I'll start planning day to day on what I plan to get done and when. So I'm in charge of sales and marketing, like I said, those activities for our other business. So I tend to lump all of that business's work together so that I can get it done quickly and then be done with it for the week, and then work on podcast content creation and everything for you all in this space in the other days. So again, combos of these work really well for me, and I really hope that you will try a couple of these out to see what really works for you and what works well. But here's the kicker, and I know that I say this a lot on this podcast, but you have to be consistent with it to figure out if it's actually going to work for you. So try these out for a few weeks, see which ones are the right combo for you, and once you've tried these, I'd love to hear from you. I am back on Instagram at lindsayfletcher.co, or you can email me at hello@lindsayfletcher.co, or you can leave me a voice message at speakpipe.com/Lindsay Fletcher. Before we go, I have a tool that will save you a ton of time in your business and allow you to focus on things that actually work. I want you to go to my website and download my sales growth tracker right now. Push pause and go do it. Go to lindsayfletcher.co/free-resources and click on the sales growth tracker to get that sent to your inbox so that you can download it and you can be on your way to figuring out what works. I promise you that it will save you so much time. So much time in the long run when you figure out what actually works in your business and what doesn't, and stop doing the things that don't work. Right? Okay. So with that said, I send you on your way, wishing you more sales, more time, and lots of business growth. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your business. I'll talk to you next time.